What's up, everybody? This is your boy TL. This is your Week 11 fantasy football preview. Um, for me in fantasy, I went 6-3 this week. I should have went 7-2. I lost by less than a point because of a lot of things. But Mike Wallace made a tackle at the end of the game on an interception, and that was the difference. It gave him 1 point, and he beat me by basically 6 yards. So that one's eating at me a little bit. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to continue with my life. Anyways, this week I have a lot of players actually to recommend for you. There's 6 quarterbacks, 8 running backs, 9 receivers, 3 tight ends, and 5 defenses that I like. I always start with defense. The 5 defenses I like this week are Kansas City, Tampa Bay, the New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, and Arizona Cardinals. Now, I know you're going to think I'm crazy when I say Kansas City Chiefs and Carolina Panthers because the Chiefs are playing the Broncos and the Panthers are playing the Patriots in Monday Night Football. The reason that I picked those two is because Peyton Manning's hurt right now. If Peyton Manning gets hurt during the Kansas City Chiefs game, the Broncos are completely screwed. The Chiefs will, like shark and blood, they're going to just pounce on whoever the backup is, Brock Osweiler, so that game could get ugly. Obviously, if Peyton stays healthy, if he makes it through the game, obviously they can put up a lot of points, so that could change everything. But he's banged up right now with a high ankle sprain, and I think that a couple hard hits could be bad news. For the Carolina Panthers, they are a top 5 defense in the NFL, in my opinion. They're playing at home. They're just coming off a big win against the 49ers, and they're playing the Patriots on Monday Night Football. I think that they can, make some plays against Tom Brady. Tom Brady's looked very immortal at times this year, and so I think they have the capability of doing that. They're pretty hot right now. Other defenses, Tampa Bay, the Giants, and Arizona. I believe Tampa Bay, I think, is playing the Falcons, who are very injured and banged up this year, and it's at home, so they could capitalize on Matt Ryan. The Giants, I believe, are playing the Packers, and they're at home as well. The Packers obviously are playing with their third-string quarterback, not good at all. And then Arizona, I can't remember who Arizona's playing, but I like the matchup, whoever it was. Okay, moving on to quarterbacks. The 6 quarterbacks I like this week for pickups, or just to start, is RG3, Christian Ponder, McCown from the Bears, Nick Foles from the Eagles, Fitzpatrick from the Titans, and Case Keenum from Houston. RG3 is starting to finally come around. He's had a pretty rough year this year, but past game or two, he's been pretty solid, so I'm hoping that he continues the rest of the season. Christian Ponder, I don't like him at all, but he does throw together some decent fantasy games. He's a decent scrambler. He usually throws for at least 1 or 2 touchdowns, and so, if you're desperate, you can pick him up. McCown, surprisingly, actually looks pretty good behind Cutler. Cutler came back this week a little bit early, got hurt again, so McCown's definitely going to be starting at least this week. Nick Foles, he's kind of made me into a believer. He's thrown 16 touchdowns this year and no interceptions, which is crazy. So I'm starting him in several leagues this week over guys like RG3. So obviously I'm convinced. Fitzpatrick from the Titans, Jake Locker's out for the season. Fitzpatrick came in through 2 touchdowns, no picks. So far so good. And last but not least, Case Keenum. Case Keenum has played 3 good games in a row, in my opinion. Unfortunately for him, he's 0-3, but his stats are solid. So I definitely like him as a pickup. Moving on to running backs, there's 8 running backs I like. Alfred Morris, he's pretty much a starter anyways, but he had a great game this last week, and I think he'll do more of the same. Donald Brown, Jennings from the Raiders, Brown from the Giants, Ben Tate, Rainey from the Buccaneers, Ogboyana for the Browns, and Shane Vereen from the Patriots. I already talked about Morris. Donald Brown, he actually is out yardaging, if that's a word, Trent Richardson right now. I think he looks better than Richardson, and I think the Colts staff sees that. So he's going to continue to split carries, and I think he's going to produce with what he gets. Jennings from the Raiders started last week because McFadden was out, and he had a pretty good game. I think 88 yards, so he's pretty solid. Brown had his debut for the Giants, ran for about $130 and a touchdown. Very good game. They gave him about 30 carries, so I think they're going to continue to do that if he's going to continue to produce. Ben Tate for Houston, Arian Foster's out for the year, so obviously he's he's one of the best backups in the league. So he'll have a good rest of the year. Rainey from the Bucks. Unfortunately for them, Doug Martin went out, and now Mike James is out. So pretty much Rainey and the other running back they have are going to get a majority of carries. I thought Rainey looked better than the other guy last night, and so he's a good pickup. Ugbayana for the Browns. The Browns said they're going to look to get him more touches for the rest of the year, so I believe that. And he's pretty good running back, running and receiving. And last but not least, Shane Vereen. Shane Vereen got hurt early this year. Before he got hurt, he was a monster for the Patriots. And he's finally coming back this week, so he's worth looking at. Moving on to receivers. We'll knock out tight ends real quick. Tight ends are Delaney Walker, Fleener from the Colts, and Eifert from the Bengals. Eifert had 10 targets last game, which is a lot. Fleener has pretty much produced ever since Reggie Wayne went out. And Delaney Walker quietly is having a pretty good season for the Titans, so he's worth looking at. Last but not least, wide receivers. I have 9 of those. First would be Golden Tate from Seattle, Baldwin from Seattle as well, Harry Douglas, Alshon Jeffrey, Riley Cooper, Boykin from the Packers, Hopkins from Houston, Roberts from Arizona, and Dobson from the Patriots. The reason for these guys, Tate and Baldwin, basically, since their one receiver's out for the year, it might change with Percy Harvin coming back, but those are the 2 guys that have been getting the targets. Douglas from Atlanta. Atlanta's bad right now. They're very banged up. And they're going to be passing a lot because they're going to be losing. And Douglas seems to be getting a majority of the targets because Roddy White isn't himself or healthy or something. Alshon Jeffrey's getting a ton of targets. I think he got like 18 targets last game for the Bears. So that's crazy. And they're going to throw to him the rest of the year. Riley Cooper, fortunately for him, Foles loves throwing to him. He's had like 5 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, so he's a very solid pickup. Boykin had a good game, then a bad game, then a good game for the Packers, but they're going to be a bad team now, which means they're going to be throwing a lot, and he seems to get a lot of looks. Hopkins for Houston, he's getting a lot of targets as well, so he's a good pickup or play. And Roberts from Arizona, Michael Floyd's coming back. It's kind of a toss-up between Roberts and Floyd, who's going to get the targets beside Fitzgerald. But, I mean, when they throw him the ball, he catches it, and he makes plays. He gets in the end zone about every other week. And last but not least, Dobson from the Patriots. Unfortunately for me, I had Kendrell Tompkins, and he has been exited out. So Dobson's getting his looks, and he's had good games ever since. So that's what I got for this week. Good luck, guys. Go Browns. I'll see you next week.